you gave there, that the thing you came up with was an entirely body-based action, which, so I could imagine for people working with you, they don't necessarily see what you're doing in your own process. Because she's saying, maybe I feel lost. And before they know it, you've said, great, let's do this. And they don't know that whole process of multiple steps that you've just been through.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds beautiful. I've actually been in some movement situations where the facilitator was not doing what you're doing exactly, obviously, because what you do is unique. But that feeling of taking the felt experience in the room and working with that, rather than saying, okay, that's the felt experience. How do we make it something else? Change it.
And then that, like, quickly following a thread, like the other day in class, in that opening circle, one woman who's actually, she takes my class all the time. She's very loyal. She's been there for years. Very reserved person, rarely shares much in the circle. And she suddenly had quite an outburst and was like, I just, got a huge pay cut in my job, so I had to quit. And I'm feeling like, and she started crying and was obviously having a lot of feeling very tender about it. And then at the end of class, we're all in this improvisation. So everyone's in their own little kind of bubble dancing. And she was having like a very expressive and cathartic dance. And I noticed that most of the rest of the room was like not in such a heightened moment. So I said, Linda, keep dancing, but like, let's gather around and give it just a little bit of support for this expression. And so, everybody gathered around and I had us like doing a little bit of movement. So everyone felt like they were, still in their body and still in movement, but like, why not take a moment to call back to that, opening request? She didn't specifically say, I need support for these feelings, but that's what she's saying if she's bringing it up in a circle, especially someone who rarely brings things up. So, I felt like that was a moment where like the intuition and the, like quickly just come together. And then she reached out afterwards and, expressed that that moment had been meaningful to her.
Well, that's so beautiful. So you're